But I wanted to show you how you're able to get the SOCi through the Unbound platform. SOCi Go is available on the app, mobile version there, but before there was SOCi Go, you were always able to get to the SOCi platform through Unbound with our single sign-on. So when you do log into Unbound iApps, you want to click on Dashboard. And under Dashboard is going to take you to the Extensions Admin tab, and one of those tabs is going to say Store Social Accounts. All you have to do is just click and highlight one location and open social, and this is going to take you directly to our, let me 1 second here. This only happens when I'm on the Sport Clips network, but it won't happen to you guys because you're not on the same network I am. So when that's what loads in, it takes you straight to SOCi. And that's where my housekeeping items stop, and I'll let Emma take over from here.
Hey, John, thanks so much. Hi, guys, my name is Emma, as John said. I've been working with Sport Clips now for nearly a year. So really excited to kind of walk you through our new competitive tool in Reputation. It's a really, really useful tool that will allow you to kind of compare yourselves to the competitors in the space, and it allows you to set it up in your local markets. So it's definitely an awesome way to kind of have an understanding of, you know who and what people are talking about in your local markets. So today we're just going to walk through how to set that up in the SOCi dashboard, and then we'll also show you the results of it and kind of how you can use it in your strategy for social content.
And for 1 second, I'm going to make you presenter before we start.
Perfect, thank you.
There we go.
Should see it load here, and I'm just going to switch my screen. All right, so as John mentioned, when you guys are coming in from Unbound, you will actually be found in the account level. So all you can do is use this drop down here to navigate to your particular location. You can simply type in or just simply drop down on the left to where it says locations and select into your location here. So today we're going to walk through Reputation competition, and we're going to talk about how to get that set up. So when you first log in and navigate to your location, you'll be brought here to your Insights dashboard. And to navigate to that competition section, you're just going to move into our Reputation module. So you'll see that we have several different sections here. The first being your Insights dashboard. If you haven't really explored the Reputation module, it's one of our most powerful tools within the system, as it allows you to kind of track where you are at in terms of your Facebook, Google, and Yelp reviews. In addition, you can respond as well as just kind of track where you're at analytically based on your review volume. Specifically, what we're going to focus on today is going to be competition down here, that last option, but also wanted to mention our sentiment analysis. This is also one of our newer tools that came out for this particular module, and it allows you to track your sentiment based on keywords. And so this is another great way to actually utilize, again, what people are talking about in your reviews and somehow turn this into a content strategy. But it will show you your trends, your top keywords, and it will break it down here below, letting you know, total reviews, percentage of reviews that are mentioning that keyword. But this is only reflective of your reviews. So that's where our competition tool really comes into play. So to set up your competition, this is a newer update, and John, you might not even have seen this as well. It actually comes in and auto-populates the calendar. This is where you're, the map. This is where you're actually going to put in the keywords, the city, zip code, and we're actually going to search for some competitors based on that particular search function. So all you'll do is you'll come in and drop in a keyword, and we'll come in and use the particular city or zip code that we want to use. And I'm going to do a quick search here and see what competitors we do find. You also can just use a general term. and it will pull up several different ones here. But we're going to go through and select into some of the competitors that we would like to use. So all you do is you enter in a new competitor, and then you're going to select that magnifying glass, and it will populate this particular section. So you can always, we're using it pretty direct, knowing the competitors that we want to use, but you always can use the interactive map if you would like. So you can add up to 4 competitors. If you just want to do 2 to start off, that's totally fine as well. But just know that you have up to 4 competitors that you can kind of compare yourself to. And once you've done that search, you can always use this map as well. So if I wanted to select into a particular point on the map, you'll notice that it's going to highlight it on the right-hand side. So tons, obviously several Floyd's locations within here, and then you can select which one you particularly would like to do. This is actually pulling the distance away from your store location. SOCi stores your, your location's address, and so this is kind of letting you know how close those competitors are. So it might be wise to actually do the ones that are closest to you. That always is good, just so you're kind of doing comparing apples to apples. So we'll hit that magnifying glass. We're going to add this last competitor here. And then we're just going to hit save. So this is going to go through and save those competitors. And this dashboard is going to take about 24 hours to fully populate. You'll notice that there's this little exclamation point here. That represents the fact that it's starting to pull in that competitor data. And you'll start to see these competitor sets start to fill in. So it will take anywhere between 2 to 24 hours, but if you set it up and you want to come in the next day to populate those results, definitely that's probably the best timeline there. So at any time, if you want to come back through and edit those competitors, you're just simply going to select into edit competitors. You can always X out of the competitor and then add a new one, and you'll just come over here and hit save. So I wanted to go and show you as well what a fully loaded, reputation competition dashboard would look like, and kind of the insights that you can glean from this particular dashboard. So up here, up at the top, you're going to notice that you have a drop down that will provide you different times to do that. My recommendation is to look, 90 days back versus 30. You'll notice if you use a 30-day look back window, at times there might not be tons of review data within the system. Maybe your competitors aren't receiving reviews as timely as you guys are, or vice versa. So I prefer to look at it in a little bit larger of a time span. But obviously this one is also showing us data for 30 days, but you can then compare it as well to your last 6 months or your last year or all time. So lots of different time frame options here that will allow you to kind of take a look and slice the data a little bit differently. Here also too, you'll be able to see the networks in which you can do. So specifically for this dashboard here, we're going to be able to pull in Google My Business and Yelp. So Facebook doesn't allow us to do this competitor comparison, but for Sports Clips specifically, your majority of your reviews are found here on Google My Business. So this is really a good look and view for you guys, because the volume of the reviews that you're receiving on Google My Business is much greater than any of the other sites with both Yelp and Facebook. So this is going to give you good visual on the particular sentiment of those reviews as well as those of your competitors. So you have the option to print this dashboard. You can also print to a PDF if you did want to share it with anybody. So that's the print option up here in the top. So this is going to show you up at the top here, it's going to be a snapshot of your last 30 days, your average rating, the total number of reviews that you've received. There's not been a change in the last 30 days. And it's going to show you your average response time. Again, that's why I do like to look at it in a little bit larger of a subset of time, because I learn a little bit more from the dashboard based on that. So 18 total reviews, that's up 4 from the last 90 days. So we're able to see that change as well as our average response time and the increase or decrease in our response times specifically. So obviously SOCi also has email notifications in which will alert you when you have received a new review, as it's so important to get those review responses published as quickly as possible. Down below, you'll see this is your competitor set in which we had selected for this particular location here. You'll be able to see their average rating, their number of reviews, as well as their average response time. So as an example, right, these particular ones are currently not showing a response based on the fact that they may not have actually formulated responses to the reviews that they've been receiving within the last 90 days. But as you can see here for Floyd's, their average response time is 1 day, 5 hours, so slightly below what we've been averaging for this location. So first things first is obviously great that we do have some responses populating based on the reviews that we're receiving. So that's leaps and bounds over, these 3 other competitors. But we are slightly, above what this average response time here as well. Moving down into the dashboard, this is a really great option to kind of break down and take a look at is your share of voice. So you'll notice that these are the top keywords that are coming through based on the competitor set that you've selected in comparison to the data that we're pulling in from your reviews as well. So what you can do is as you scroll through these top keywords, you'll notice that that pie chart on the right will change, walking through who owns the majority of the share of voice based on the review sentiment. So as you hover over, it will match based on the legend down below. And you'll notice that you'll see, Floyd's Barbershop owns really 58.3% of the term or share of voice word of hair, and there's 7 mentions of it, 2 positive, 3 negative, and 2 neutral. So you can always hover over to your particular location and see that you have 2 mentions of that in the last 90 days. 1 was a positive review and 1 was a neutral review. So in conjunction with that sentiment analysis that I briefly showed you guys before, as well as your, your share of voice, these are types of things that I would target based on any of your local posts and messaging that you're scheduling, as this is really something that will kind of show you that what people are really talking about in those reviews. And in that sentiment analysis, it will further drill down on the share of voice for your reviews specifically, so that you can understand, how you could essentially turn that into a social post and really, gain more of that share of voice based on the reviews that you guys are receiving. Additionally, too, it's great keyword management in the sense of, those words that are being used on Google My Business. You are utilizing those also in your social messaging to ensure that there's, just a really fluid message that's going out both socially as well as on those review sites. The next box here is the breakdown by rating. This is going to show you, who is owning the top spot here for, 5 stars, 4 to 5 stars. And it will break those down to, what everyone's receiving. So in this case, we have an even split of between these 2 networks, these 2 Floyds, as well as you guys here at 32% each, while these other ones are slightly smaller. So this is really something to kind of understand of where are you ranking in comparison to your competitors based on, that rating and share of voice. Down below, you'll see this network breakdown, again, representing Google My Business and Yelp. It's going to show you you versus the competitors, and it's going to show the number of reviews, the rating, just kind of in a more table version versus the different charts and graphs you see up above. Additionally, too, as response times populate for your competitors, you'll see that this graph will be showing all of the different data points here as those begin to actually come in and make responses based on those competitor set that we've selected up at the top. And then the last graph that you're going to see is really the number of reviews over time versus your competitors. So, this is taking a look at from March until June, essentially, how many reviews have actually been seen. Again, if you wanted to pull this out and look at all time, that's always an option for you as well. Might give you a little bit different in terms of your share of voice, as well as your response times, as well as those reviews over time. So, figuring out how to really splice the data to make it make sense for, what you're trying to glean from the information, I think is, an opportunity that we all have to really understand, not only what our reviews are saying, but where they stack up to the competitors. One suggestion that I do have for sure is to couple that with that sentiment analysis. But first, highly recommend everybody to come in and get their competitor set set up. Utilizing that, wait about 2 to 24 hours as that competitor set will load all of the appropriate data. You'll notice that the average ratings, reviews, and average response times will stay at 0 until all of the data has been collected, and that exclamation point will be removed once the data has been fully pulled in. And remember, at any time, you can simply select into the edit competitors, and you'll be able to then, make any adjustments. Or if you wanted to take a look at a new competitor, someone opens up in your area and you want to take a look at what that looks like, definitely feel free. You can always reset it and go back to your original subset of competitors. But, really think on how you can, one, get, as quick of response times as you can in your reviews. As you can see, where you stack up in terms of those average response times. All time, you guys are, doing a great job with 1 day, 10 hours, while both competitors are 3 days and 5 hours. But Great Clips, was coming in here all time for a 5-hour response time. But at times, as we saw when we changed that time frame, they were not responding to some of their reviews. So, thinking through how to execute, getting those reviews responded, and really using some of these tools to kind of understand, where you are sitting in terms of your competitor set is definitely a tool that we all feel is really an opportunity for Sport Clips to use SOCi to its full potential. But if you guys do have any particular questions about getting this set up, obviously, I work very closely with John and team. So if you do have questions about getting it set up, just let us know, and we're happy to walk you guys through this as well.
Awesome, thanks, Emma. Then real quick, go back and kind of start from the beginning of how you would get to the competition tab when you log into Unbound Social.
Sure.
So here, yeah, go ahead.
Here you are when you log into SOCi. Right away, you're going to be found here at this account level. You'll notice this little house on the left-hand side. If you select into reputation from the house, you'll notice that competition is not showing here. This is a location-specific module under the reputation section. With that being said, if you own multiple stores or you manage multiple stores, you will definitely want to set this up across everyone. So again, if you select into the locations, you can use this search and find the one you're looking for. Or you can use the quick drop down here and it will take you directly in.
Perfect.
So you'll notice here that you're at location. That icon has changed to the little pin. And then if you now come into reputation here, you'll notice that competition will load here on the left-hand side. Just select in, it's the last option, and then you'll have that new pop-up window if you have not yet set it up to start being able to populate that through.
Fantastic. All right, and then the next question we have is, what is response time? Is it how long it takes for us to respond to the review left by the client, or is it the other way around, how long it takes a customer to leave a review? It's going to be the first part. So it is the response time is populated for how long it takes us to respond to the client's review. That's how that response time is populated. If you do see zeros on your response time, that means you have not responded to your reviews. So it's very critical that you do respond to them because once you start responding to them, it will start formulating your data for your response time. So great question there. And then we have kind of a two-parter here. How does this info affect SEO? And I'm actually going to have Russ answer that real quick.
If by info you mean the information that's put in the review, keywords in the review by the customer can actually help the relevance of your business with those reviews or with those keywords. So for instance, say someone kept mentioning how they enjoyed the fade they got at Sport Clips, your business could start ranking for the term fade. So keywords in the reviews, not so much the responses, are important to your local rank, those keywords.
Awesome. And then kind of the second parter is if we're buying digital ads, how does this or how does or can this affect those results?
That one I'm a little unsure of. Are they talking about corporate buying ads or them buying ads at the location? And then what do you mean by the results? The review results that SOCi's showing you today? Or if you're talking about search results, if you're buying an ad with a location extension, you should be coming up above your competitors in the 3-pack. Or in the
let me go ahead and unmute Tommy because he is responding, but it might be easier just to go from there. Well, it looks like you're not connected to a phone, Tommy. So give me a second there. But he was talking about local buys, and it looks like he was doing, I'm guessing, click or clicks. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna send you an audio pin, Tommy. That way, because I don't see you active for me to unmute you. Okay. While we wait for that to come through, do we have any questions? Okay, don't have any questions. Just waiting on see if we can get Tommy online here. But I don't think we don't have any more questions for you, Emma. So I definitely appreciate you jumping on.
Of course.
Yeah, and then is this information available in a PDF form?
Yeah, I will send that over to you today, just so you have that and you can distribute it after the call as well.
Perfect. So if you can send over that PDF, I'll do my very best to have that information uploaded today. So that way you guys are going to be able to have the PDF as well as this video. So thanks, Emma, for jumping on. I appreciate you. I hope you're having a great day, and try not to let the weather in San Diego bog you down too much.
I'll try. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right. I got Tommy on the line now, so let me go ahead and unmute you real quick.
Thank you.
Hey, Tommy.
All right, so
hey, Tommy, can you hear us?
Thanks for having me, fellas. Real quick, the question I'm asking is, at Huddle, Yelp was there, and they were doing the promo buy-in where they're matching a certain amount of your ad dollars and that type of stuff, and all based off of keywords and click-throughs and that type of stuff, right? So what I'm asking here is the stuff that SOCi's doing and tracking, is it just tracking or is it helping boost those keywords? Does that make sense?
It's just tracking. It's just giving you data about the reviews, as I mentioned, the keywords, but it's also letting you know if you're responding, if your competitors are responding, and the theory is the more responsive you are to customers, the more Google likes that and could help you in ranking at the local search. But they're not doing anything proactively to boost your rankings either with Google or within third party like Yelp. It's just a visibility into what your competitors are doing.
So it's information based more than anything through
Correct.
SOCi.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Cool. All right. Any more questions on SOCi here? If not, we'll go ahead and stop the recording and then open up the questions to anything you guys have here. All right. I don't see questions come in, so I'm going to